The greatest freedom is for us to allow anyone who wants to hate without violence, without threats, without incitement, and that is true.
That is true.
You're bringing incitement and hate speech together, which is totally absurd and fascist.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you, sir.
You won't believe what just went down at AOC's town hall. A man stood up, calmly challenged her on free speech, and within seconds her team tried to silence him. The mic cut off, staff got involved, and what happened next perfectly exposed the hypocrisy of the so-called tolerant left.
I think at the bedrock of what you're discussing is freedom of speech,
right,
and the freedom of expression.
Right.
And that is what I would call it.
Yes.
I think that we have a freedom to express ourselves. We should also know that in the United States, there are also limitations on our freedom of speech.
No, only if it involves violence or threats, things that are illegal. But that's not free speech.
And so,
that's threat. Threats are not free speech.
So, and also, beyond violence,
I don't think you should
threats,
say that. I don't think you should say that because that's confusing the issue.
I think I just want to introduce some nuance to the conversation. That's okay. So I just want to throw some nuance into the conversation, and I'm not trying to have an argument here. I want to have a discussion. Well, that's fine, sir. I am absolutely, sir. And I'm absolutely open to being proven wrong on many issues. So when it comes, I'll just let you know my perspective. We can disagree at the end of it, but I want to at least let you know my perspective. My perspective is that we absolutely have a protected freedom of speech. Someone can say, I hate so-and-so, and that is protected speech. When we think about one of the landmark freedom of speech cases brought down by the Supreme Court, one of those cases and one of the verdicts said another form of speech that is not protected is yelling fire in a crowded movie theater, because that will force people to trample one another. And so that's not protected speech. So
You can yell fire in the theater if there's a fire.
If there's a fire,
okay.
Right.
Ridiculous argument.
Right, sir, but he's saying, in the landmark speech, no, sir, it's fine. Oh, sir, no, it's...
Very much.
No, it's totally fine. For me, I think...
Fascist.
And so I think for me, sir, it's my concern is we have freedom to say, I hate this, I hate that. Where I do get concerned is where that line is played with so that we have plausible deniability to incite violence against people. I don't think that the president should have tweeted that video that he tweeted. Do I think he should have gone to jail for it? Absolutely not. But I don't think he should have done that. I think that by endangering Congresswoman Omar, he was playing with this line, and...
Well, I disagree. She endangered herself, okay? That's not endangerment. So showing the truth is endangerment, is inciting violence to show the truth. That is fascism.
Well, sir, I don't think anyone's trying to ban that speech.
His right to show the truth of what happened is just as valid as her right to say whatever she wants to say.
And sir, that's why that's why there's no charges being brought up against him.
Being criticized by you as though there should be charges.
No, I don't think there should be charges. I want to make sure that
he's inciting violence against her.
I think he is.
That's absurd. You cannot incite violence.
Yeah, well, I think he is.
Inciting violence is illegal.
Right. And so okay, and sir, I think one of the larger questions that we have here is that if we're explicitly talking about, do we have the right to say, I hate so-and-so, I hate... You even have the right, yes, to be bigoted in America. Absolutely. You absolutely have the right to be bigoted in America.
Right.
My question is, why do you want to, not you, but why would one want to be bigoted in America?
It doesn't matter.
I
don't want to be bigoted. I grew up as a concern you that the greatest freedom is for us to allow anyone who wants to hate without violence, without threats, without incitement, and that is true.
That is true.
You're bringing incitement and hate speech together, which is totally absurd and fascist.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you, sir. A moment like that is fine and it's acceptable, because I do think that if we don't let it out, then it gets worse. So I think it's fine to air out disagreements and to have these conversations, even if it's hurts our feelings.
Stood up and said something simple, yet powerful. Hate speech is protected under the First Amendment as long as it doesn't involve violence or threats. That's constitutional law 101. But AOC wasn't having it. She immediately tried to twist it, claiming there are limitations to free speech. That's when the entire conversation started to go downhill. Then, like clockwork, she pulled out the tired old line. "You can't yell fire in a crowded theater." You've heard that one before, right? It's the most misused argument in politics. The man calmly corrected her, explaining that the phrase only applies if there's imminent danger. Not just words someone finds offensive. He was making a fair, logical point, but the moment it started exposing her weak argument, her staffers moved in. They cut his microphone. You could literally see AOC's staff trying to grab it out of his hands. No shouting, no threats, just a man making a constitutional argument, and they couldn't handle it. That's not democracy, that's control. And when the man pointed out that showing the truth is an incitement, referencing Trump's video about Ilhan Omar, she completely dodged the point. Instead of debating him, she tried to make it about morality. Why would anyone want to be bigoted? Classic diversion tactic. Even after being silenced, the man stayed calm and clear. He said, "The greatest freedom is allowing anyone who wants to hate without violence, without threats, without incitement. That's not hate. That's the essence of the First Amendment." You could see AOC struggling to respond. Eventually she said it's fine to air out disagreements, but only after cutting his mic and dismissing him. The hypocrisy couldn't be more obvious. This wasn't just a town hall moment, it was a mirror held up to today's politics. The man stood his ground, defended the Constitution, and reminded everyone watching that free speech doesn't need approval. Meanwhile, AOC and her team showed exactly what happens when you question their narrative. They'll shut you down and call it safety. That's not progress, that's fear. That man was a patriot. He didn't shout, he didn't insult, he just told the truth. And for that, they tried to silence him. This moment exposes the reality. Some politicians talk about democracy, but only when it agrees with them. Freedom of speech means freedom for everyone, not just the people you like. If you believe in that freedom, hit subscribe right now, give this video a thumbs up, and share it so more people can see what really happened. Because the fight for free speech isn't just political, it's personal.